Everyone watching this at one point or another in their lives has heard the words atomic bomb, and they likely also know the story of its birth. The name conjures up images of destruction on kind of a frankly unimaginable scale, and was originally made possible by the history of nuclear fission. Otto Hahn, in his Berlin laboratory in 1938, was first to open the door to an entirely new dimension of conflict, which would later be refined and perfected by the United States in a secret initiative we now know as the Manhattan Project. This operation would ultimately change the fate of the entire planet. The atomic bomb would later be used to end the Second World War, become the basis of further global tension in the midst of the Cold War, and will persist likely forever as both an incredible gift of powerful advancement for the human race, as well as a danger to the future of the species. Everyone understands the gravity of those words, you know? Atomic bomb. But very few people understand the similar weight behind the term cyber weapon. Asking someone how they feel about nuclear conflict will essentially result in universally negative responses. It should not happen, a sense of fear. But asking someone how they feel about cyber weapons can yield an entirely different result. Mostly what you get are blank stares. People just don't know. Is it bad? Is it good? Are we winning? And most commonly, but how does it affect me? Most people online fail to realize the true implications of cyber. I want to take a look back at the world's first ever recorded cyber weapon and the story of how it was used. It begins with an article by John Bumgarner, a former US intelligence officer, posted to an information warfare journal in 2010. In it, he discusses how centrifuges used to refine nuclear fuel could be sabotaged or destroyed with the right type of cyber weapon. And that's precisely what happened. Timeline estimates are extremely blurry here. All parties involved to this very day attempt to remain as far distant from these events as possible, like a digital Chernobyl of sorts, but the cyber weapon that John Bumgarner had warned about was already real. Now referred to as Stuxnet, which is a moniker derived from a combination of keywords found in the software itself, the only reason this particular cyber weapon was ever discovered is because it leaked out into the open. At the time, no one seemed to know who was responsible, but the weapon had apparently been deployed against Iranian nuclear power infrastructure, only to then spread past that target when a programming error caused it to infect an engineer's laptop, which would later introduce it to the World Wide Web when the engineer returned home, connecting to his actual network.
In 2010, a highly advanced computer virus called Stuxnet was unleashed on a uranium enrichment facility in the Middle East. The destructive malware caused centrifuges to spin out of control until they tore themselves apart. The destruction was hidden from plant personnel by forging fake production data that was sent to the operators, making it appear as if everything was operating as expected. It is believed this malware was developed through a joint effort between two nations. Stuxnet was the first malware ever created that directly targeted industrial control systems, making it the first in a new breed of malware. Since Stuxnet, additional ICS malware strains have surfaced that could unleash devastating effects on society.
The 2017 WannaCry ransomware attack caused $4 billion in losses across the globe. WannaCry is ransomware, a virus that takes over your computer or files and holds them hostage, promising to return it if you pay a ransom. It ripped through computers in 150 countries by either encrypting valuable files or locking you out of your computer in general. This caused massive productivity losses as businesses, hospitals, and government organizations that didn't pay were forced to rebuild systems from scratch. The malware raged like wildfire through 200,000 computers worldwide. WannaCry.
In June 2017, a cyber weapon named NotPetya was unleashed on the world with devastating consequences. It was a wiper malware disguised as normal ransomware, but designed to irrevocably destroy data and disrupt critical systems. NotPetya exploited the same Eternal Blue vulnerability used in the WannaCry attack, further highlighting the danger of unpatched systems. Originally confined to Ukraine, global companies with operations there became collateral damage with cascading effects. The economic fallout is estimated to be in the billions worldwide. NotPetya exposed the fragility of global networks and the risks of unpatched software. This attack is widely believed to have come from Russia, blurring the lines of where cyber attacks start to become acts of war.
Did you know the cyber world suffered its own pandemic in 2020? A meticulously planned assault on the heart of cybersecurity was the SolarWinds attack. SolarWinds was a widely used software company providing network monitoring tools to private companies and even the American government. A Trojan virus was cleverly injected into a software update which thousands of organizations downloaded, unwittingly granting attackers access to their systems.
Did you know that in 2021, Microsoft Exchange servers were hacked by a group of hackers? The hackers exploited 4 zero-day vulnerabilities in the software to gain access to the servers and steal data from millions of users. The hack was so serious that Microsoft had to release emergency patches to fix the vulnerabilities.
Ransomware attacks are on the rise, with experts saying we've had more this year than ever before. CBS 17's Joseph Holloway spoke with one expert who says we can expect the cases to keep going up as we head into next year.
Two particular sets of attacks we're concerned about at this moment in time. One is criminal cyber attacks against the hospital chain. It had real impact. Rural clinics closed, some hospitals in 3 states turning away ambulances and canceling elective services. That's done by criminals, and the White House has pushed out guidelines on how to tackle that. Second set of attacks we're tracking is an increase by Iran in cyber attacks against 10 water systems in this country. And in a similar way, there are basic cybersecurity practices like changing default passwords and limiting administrator account access that could prevent those attacks being successful.
We're back now with the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, Texas Congressman Michael McCall. Mr. Chairman, I want to ask you about this massive data breach we heard about this week. Some 4 million former or current government employees These seem to happen pretty regularly now. Is this the new normal? And what's the next thing we need to be worried about?
This was the most significant breach of federal networks in U.S. history.
More than 21 million Americans had personal information stolen from government files in a data breach that was 6 times as large as originally disclosed.
Not only were many more Americans affected than we previously knew, but just what kinds of data. We're talking about very personal data that most people will be very uncomfortable knowing is out there. We're talking about people's health histories, their criminal histories, their educational and residency backgrounds.
In a world where cyber threats evolve daily, how can we stay one step ahead? Enter artificial intelligence, a game changer in predicting and preventing cyber attacks. In 2020, an AI-powered system developed by researchers was able to analyze vast data from past cyber incidents to identify patterns and trends. This groundbreaking system detected a previously unknown vulnerability in a popular software, preventing a potential massive breach. By continuously learning from new data, AI algorithms are not just reactive but proactive, predicting emerging threats before they manifest. With AI in the cybersecurity arsenal, the digital landscape can become a safer place for everyone.
Cyber threats are growing every day, but AI is here to save the day. AI can analyze huge amounts of data in seconds, spotting threats faster than any human. Think of it as a digital detective that never sleeps. With machine learning, AI gets smarter over time, predicting attacks before they happen. It's like having a crystal ball for cyber threats. Plus, AI can automate responses, shutting down threats instantly. No more waiting for a human to hit the panic button. So next time you think about cybersecurity, remember, AI is your best friend in the digital world. Stay safe out there.